guys.
Hello.
What is up? I am
I'm sorry. I was just going to say I'm living under stormy me. So if I suddenly vanish,
oh no, yeah, that's right. You just mentioned that. It actually kind of looks like it's gonna storm here by me too, so I'm a little nervous about that. But anyway, I'm Kelly, number one Lola Stan Keen.
and I am Dawn Owls and Toads and Witches Glen.
Can I just say one thing I appreciated about this episode was the mention of like witchcraft.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Yes. It wasn't a negative one either. It was like it was good. It was like Carol's like, what, I like witches? He's going, no. Well, yes, actually.
I thought that was neat. Yeah, please forgive my my non-makeup face. I'm temporarily not giving a fuck because my right arm is messed up and it's just not worth it.
Shouldn't have to apologize. It's your face, and no man is going to come on the internet and apologize for not wearing makeup. So I am wearing makeup, but that's because I'm weak and pathetic.
You don't like my face, just look at my beautiful Elizabeth Warren shirt.
Fantastic.
Anyway, we are Cyborg Queen, and we are covering what is probably our least favorite episode of the season, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We've got a lot to say on it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to hear the negativity, just stick around to hear like our, through our top fives and everything. And then you can cut out. But yeah, we've got a lot to say, and not much of it is nice, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that Lola survived.
Yay for Lola.
Yes. Yay for Lola, indeed.
LOL, Lola.
Before we get going, I want to mention that we're really excited to be premiering our Fan Pack Sundays this coming Sunday. And it's what that is. Fan Pack is something, it stands for Fans for Positivity and Compassion. Positivity meaning like just, focus on the things that you love and not the things you hate. Let others be positive about the things that they love in their shows. And compassion, just approaching everything from a compassionate perspective. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. In fact, we're planning on having a wheel spinner of topics where we just kind of spin it and then decide what to talk about. But we're going to be talking about like characters who might be kind of divisive and how we approach talking about those characters, and characters who are overappreciated and underappreciated. All kinds of things. We'll talk about ableism and misogyny and racism and fandoms. And this is something that's greatly needed. But we also plan on kind of trying to mobilize people to come together to do good. And one of the ways that we're doing that this Sunday is we are celebrating Taylor Page's birthday on Sunday. Taylor Page is one of the stars of Welcome to Derry, which we will be covering. And she is a very outspoken advocate for endometriosis awareness. So we are raising money for the Endometriosis Foundation of America. There will be links on this episode description to donate. We have just a goal of $100. That's all we're trying to donate because it's our first fundraiser. It's through Tiltify. All the funds go directly through Tiltify to EndoFound, and we've got a QR code and all that fun stuff, and we make it really easy for you to donate. But it'll be live, and we'll be taking call-ins, and you never know who will show up. And we're just gonna have fun, and we may even play some rounds of Super Fight. Who knows? If you've never heard of Super Fight, look it up. It's super fun. But anyway, with that said, just a reminder that I am still, my right arm is still not working, so this will not be edited. We're gonna just kind of have to deal with, whatever. We can pause it, but
Yes,
if I start having massive brain fog, please just bear with me. Also, we unfortunately did not get enough comments to do a giveaway, but we're still waiting to do it. So if we get 10 comments from different people on this video, we will do a small virtual giveaway. It's for a virtual item, so anybody can win. It's something really small, but it's something that's very, like, fandom specific, to, like, pretty much, like, whoever your favorite character is in the world. It's something that will be specific to that character, and, it will just be a small little virtual prize, but it's really cool, and I think you'll like it. So please leave us a comment, we'd really appreciate it. Also, I'm sorry that we can't really respond to comments as much as we usually do. It's hard because it's just I'm typing everything with my left hand, so which is useless. Anyway, I am talking way too damn much right now. Um, Dawn, do you wanna jump into the recap?
Yes, let's do this. Now, this has been the much talked about fifth episode, which Norman Reedus, I don't know who else, everybody else involved in the show said this was the one which is most like Western and is most a tribute to the Spaghetti Westerns by Sergio Leone
Very
and
true.
similar. Yeah. So be prepared for that. And it's called Limbo. I'm assuming Limbo is the same in Spanish. I don't know. I didn't look that up. Because all the other titles are in Spanish, so perhaps the
Yeah.
first is the same. Yeah. So when we left them last week, the Carol, Daryl, and Antonio were going after Roberto, and they found the upturned car. And Carol had found Justina's necklace, so she knew they were there. This week they follow the tracks looking for Roberto, and they find him hanging from his waist by a bridge with walkers underneath him. Above him are two Alcazar soldiers who are betting on chopping him down. Can I do it in two chops? And just as he's about to chop Roberto down, and thus he'll be fed to the walkers, shots ring out. The two soldiers are killed. Carol, Daryl, and Antonio arrive, killing all the walkers and cutting down Roberto safely. Antonio says he's breathing and cradles his son. Cut to titles. When we come back, they have removed Roberto. He's propped up by their jeep, and Roberto is telling them what happened, that he had found Justina and that he escaped with her, but they were run off the road by El Alcazar, and Justina took her. They took Justina again, which makes Carol realize that Justina didn't volunteer in the first place. She was taken. Roberto says that Justine had threatened to expose Fede over the ribbons that had her name on it if he doesn't stop offender. Antonio wants to take Roberto back to Salaz because he needs the medicines there, and he returns the compass necklace to Roberto. Daryl takes Carol aside and says, "Let's just say we didn't know what happened. We found Roberto on the road. He got jumped. All we need is a good liar, and we've got one of those." Carol agrees it could work, but what about Justina? Daryl, again, as he has all season, doesn't want to do anything, but Carol isn't having it. She doesn't want to take advantage of Justina, and she says, "You know what? She's just going to go after them." Daryl says no, and Carol gets angry for telling him what to do. Go, Carol. She says to Daryl, "Stop telling me what I can and can't do." And Daryl then asks Antonio where the convoy is going next. He says Barcelona, which is a few days away. Daryl asks for a map, indicating he's going to go. Carol tries to insist she's going, but Daryl says no, and even though Carol protests, they part ways, and he says hot dogs whilst flexing. I don't even know what that is. Carol and Antonio take Roberto home, where Donna Marga and another Miga make a potion. As Antonio explains to Carol what's going on, and Paz watches on. Carol compares the women to witches, and Antonio says, "No, but, well, yes." The Migas chant around the flaming brew, warning bad spirits to stay away from Roberto. Paz says, "Well, if it doesn't fix him, at least he'll be drunk." But Fede shows up to see what's happening, and he tells them that it's fine, they can have all the herbs they need. His mother has everything to heal Roberto, and he wants to know what happened. So he asks them how they found Roberto. He also mentions that this is a place he came to visit regularly because his brother lived 2 doors down from Antonio. And he talks about that Antonio was known as Tonetti in his youth, and they joke about Fedi's cousin and say he was always there eating. And Fedi says that Maria, who is Antonio's wife, was the best baker, and Antonio knows he was a lucky man. When they explain to Fedi what happened, Carol does most of the talking, as is obvious, and they lie and say there was no signs of El Alcazar, it was just banditos. Ferry seems a bit suspicious that banditos would have killed them, but he seems to buy it eventually. And he asks where Daryl is. Carol says he's gone to check on the boat and he's going to stay on the beach. Again, Ferry's suspicious, but um, he seems to believe it enough and leaves. Paz asks, says, did El Alcazar do this once Fedi's gone? And Antonio says, we can trust Paz, and tells her exactly what's happened. Meanwhile, Daryl is on his motorbike in the desert, and on his path to find Justina, he comes across a man with bloodied holes for eyes, asking for water. Daryl gives him his canteen, but the man drinks it all, guzzles it, and wastes it. Daryl grabs it back and says, tries. The man just keeps saying agua, agua, and he starts to laugh and says that Daryl will be the next to be picked off by the vultures. Daryl leaves this man to his seeming madness and drives off, where he then sees there's a train being pulled by walkers, led by a man singing on a horse. Inside the train, we find Choffo and his lady friend. Um, One of his men calls to him and says, "You need to come and see this." They look outside, and Choffo says he wants Daryl's bike, and he also wants food for Lola. Lola is his lizard of some kind. I should have looked up what kind it was, big one. And he feeds her eyes, and that explains the man that Daryl came across. So 4 bikers leave the train and go after Daryl. They split up. One of them splits off from the group and comes face to face with Daryl as 2 come behind him. Daryl shoots as they essentially joust on their motorbikes, and he nicks the man's shoulder, but also manages to pierce the fuel on the man's bike. And as the guy turns around, Daryl has left his bike behind and is nowhere to be seen. He's escaped. Sometime later, Daryl is staggering through the desert, no water, no bike. There's vultures following him. He's obviously struggling, and he sees a lone person, possibly a walker, but a lone man taken down by a vulture. He also passes 2 skeletons on the ground, which, if we later on, we'll talk about that because it has significance. And it becomes night falls, and Daryl's shivering, curled up, and starts to have more flashbacks to his childhood. This time we see his father coming towards him from a trailer, and Merle's voice shouting, "You gotta go now." In the present, somebody approaches behind Daryl, and he leaps to his feet with his shotgun. The man who approaches is Matteo. He's a friend, and he is a leper. He lets Daryl know that his group are kind, and offers him water. "Come with us, agua, agua." He doesn't speak English. They arrive at the leper colony, which is in a deserted ruins of a town. They give Daryl water, but he keeps asking for more. And a woman, untouched by leprosy, stops them. She is Amaya. She explains that the water they have is for everyone. You can't take it all. Matteo says to her, he's got a rifle. Maybe he can help us. She doesn't seem convinced. Matteo shows Daryl where they had a cistern full of water, but it's now empty. Daryl assumes it was that the weather just dried up, but no, they say bandits took it. They explain the town was destroyed a long time ago in the Civil War under Franco, and this is the only place where all of these people can go. She explains the way that the leprosy works, that it won't be transmitted through touch, so Daryl can touch any of them a little. Matteo says the people there are not living but not dead. Daryl explains they took his bike, and Amia says, tomorrow you decide, are you going to help us? We'll die in 4 to 5 days if you don't. When he's in bed, a little girl is watching him from a distance. The next morning, Daryl announces he will help, but he only has 4 bullets, so he needs them all to fight. Matteo rallies the others with rope and other things lying around. They start to construct traps. A man who looks remarkably like Antonio asks Daryl what he thinks of the town and people, and Daryl says, "Des paysans." See what I mean? He does look like he's like if Antonio had a less good looking brother. That's him. Do
you think Antonio's hair is longer?
Yes.
Or do you think?
Yeah.
So okay, so it's like this guy it's like Antonio just got a little bit of a haircut, and gave it to the guy gave the discarded hair to put on the guy's face or beard.
Yeah. Touch of leprosy and a haircut, and there you go, Antonio. I really, for a minute when I was watching it, went, "What is that?" Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. They're just a couple of broccoli boys.
Yes. Oh dear. Yes. So Daryl is working on the trap, that it's hot work, and the little girl from the night before offers him her Hippo lunchbox flask, and he drinks from it. I'm assuming that's significant because, sharing a drinking vessel. I think. Once everything is ready, Daryl leaves in the truck, and Amaya is not convinced he'll come back. Daryl looks at the map for Barcelona, but he waits for the buzzards, that's what they're called apparently, the bad guys, to come after him, and he draws them back to the colony. 6 buzzards on bikes chase the truck into the town. After 4 pass through, 2 women pull a rope across the road, knocking 2 from their bikes. The people kill them with stones and sticks. That's 2 down. The little girl watches from a hidden place and says, 4 bullets for 4 demons. She watches as Daryl gets out of the truck and runs and splits the group in the 4 into 2. A spiked plate is put across another part of the town, and one of them goes across that, piercing his tires, and he falls, and Daryl shoots him in a very cowboy-esque move. Another one drives past a woman who's cooking. She nods to what direction Daryl is in, and that a shot rings out, and he's dead. The third buzzard is a woman who climbs rubble, and we hear a shot, and her helmet rolls to the ground. There's only one left. He chases Daryl to this building, and Daryl waits with his shotgun. The man is bleeding, but brings out a weapon and drives at Daryl. Daryl slices the buzzard who dies on his knees. All of them are dead. But that's not the end of it. He has to go on the train. So that we see the train is passing under a bridge where Daryl's waiting. He drops onto the roof, kills the buzzard who's working on his bike, then releases the chain which holds all the walkers, which means that they are now free and begin to attack the man on the horse and all the people on board. Toffle inside is admiring himself and Lola when the train stops. One of the men on the top of the train shoots at Daryl, but they fight, and he's dangled down, which alerts Toffle that his men are dying. Daryl enters the train along with the walkers. Daryl and Toffle are fighting them off from opposite sides and end up back to back in the center of the room. Both men stop for a breather when Toffle's knife gets stuck in a walker. Daryl grabs Choffo, pushes him into the bath that he was in earlier with his girlfriend, and drowns Choffo at the end of him. We barely knew you. So, hurrah, happy ending. Daryl has saved the day, and the colony get their water back from the train. Amaya gives Daryl his gun back, and he shakes Mateo's hand as he's leaving. The little girl offers the gift of her flask, which Daryl takes, and they exchange names. And as he drives off into the distance, we see Lola the lizard is enjoying her freedom away from a tyrant. Back to Solaz, Valentina is arriving at the town with her two friends to visit poor sick Roberto. Donna Marga says he hangs between hope and despair, but they'll bring him back. Valentina notes that when Antonio goes to get more ingredients, Carol offers to go with him. Outside, she says to Carol that she got it wrong about Carol and Daryl. Carol prefers the local wine. When in Galicia, Carol calls her a horny old lady as Antonio approaches and clearly knows he's being talked about. Inside, Donna Marga discovers Justina's necklace in Roberto's hand and takes it for herself. In the orchard, as they gather ingredients, Antonio asks Carol if Valentina was being nosy. Carol says she was. And she says that her plans are still to leave with Daryl when he gets back. And Antonio talks about the fact that this is his home. He tried to start over someplace else and it didn't work. And Carol contemplates and then says, it's not Barcelona, but he could come to Ohio with them. Antonio's uncomfortable and avoids it and says, we've got to go. Back at Fedi's house, Donna Marga is suspicious and asks how Roberto ended up with Justina's necklace. Fedi says she must have left it to him before she left, and even though Donna Marga is sure that Justina was wearing it, she leaves to cook dinner, and Fedi instructs his right-hand man Sergio to go and see if Daryl really is staying on the beach. At Roberto's bedside, Antonio prays for Roberto's health and that Daryl will find Justina, and he takes Carol's hand as they stand vigil while Daryl drives through the barren land. And that's that episode.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to grab our little QR code. We've got a QR code up in the left-hand corner of your screen is where you'll see it. If you scan that QR code, that will take you directly to our Tiltify link to donate to the Endometriosis Foundation of America. And we just got our first donation. Thank you, Dawn.
That's all right. I wanted to test it, make sure it worked. It was a breeze. If you're going to do it, it was very quick and easy. Easy and painless.
So you at least know we tested it and it is working. So.
Yeah.
So I that shot of Lola, by the way, I love that I'm so glad you got the screenshot of Lola because we'll get into it a bit, but that was honestly one of the highlights of the episode for me.
Is she a bearded dragon? Is that what that kind of lizard is? I should have looked her up.
I think maybe.
That bit
but
made me
yeah.
think. Yeah.
It was nice that they consider that because so often, like, you see all these action scenes and you're just like, they just don't even go back to revisit the animals. It was a good episode for the animals, man.
Yeah. We didn't see a horse being eaten as far as I can think, so hurrah! Yes. Well done.
Exactly.
Small mercies.
All right, so why don't we start with our tell you what, why don't we get all of the positive stuff out of the way first?
Okay.
Including, we'll just do the Angel Wings Award.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll go into the top fives, and then we'll do our Suspenders Award, and then the bottom fives, because we're probably going to have a lot more to say.
Exactly. We're going to lead with the nice stuff, break you in gently. So my Angel Wings Award goes to Mateo. Adorable Mateo. What a lovely guy who just saw this dude shivering and curled up out of the desert and just went, hey, look, I'll just smile. Nice person, come and have some of our water. And yes, of course, he saw somebody that could help them, but he just seemed genuinely a lovely guy who wanted to make a friend and welcome people in. So I was like, well done, Mateo. It's not often we see people like that who just have no, as we say in the UK, have no edge about him. You know, there's nothing. He doesn't have any hidden. He's just who he is. He's exactly who he seems to be, which was lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I had him as well. I also kind of gave an honorable mention to Rosa just because she was so adorable.
Yes, she
She was
she
just so
was so reminded me so much of the infamous National Geographic cover. I don't know if you remember, with an Afghani girl on the cover who had the most striking eyes.
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The image I made. She reminded me of that. What I've never seen light brown eyes like that be so striking. And
Yeah.
what a charismatic little girl as well. She's some child actors are very stilted, but she just was really good. Great little actress.
Yeah, she was. I agree. And another honorable mention for Lola.
Yes, Lola, the great actress.
Yes.
She did her part well. She was on cue and everything.
um, and okay, what is your it's just honestly, I mean, I'm not gonna say anymore. I'll save it for the top five.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, so let's just go right
Let's
into
do
our
it.
top fives. We'll save the suspenders award
Yeah.
for after that.
Yes, and the worst five for that. Okay, so my fifth best bet was Donna Marga seeing through Fede. I really like that. The look she gives him is such a mother to son look when she's like, "What have you been doing?"
Oh yeah.
Um, because at first I was thinking, "Oh, is Fede going to go and realize something?" Because I forgot the plot for a minute, and then I was like, "Oh no, it's her. She's exposing him and calling him out. She knows something's up." Um, so I really liked that, and I liked that they added her telling him off for eating chocolate as well and ruining his dinner. It was such a mum thing to do. I
Yes.
thought that was. I think it's really interesting that the person who is most, I mean, obviously Justina knows the truth about Fede, but the person who really has most power over him and control is his mother.
Mhm.
And I think that in a season where how the women are portrayed is iffy at best. I like that the mother has all the power in this, and hopefully she will wield it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What about your number five?
My number five is it was like I just said, it was a good episode for the animals. Um
Yay!
the horse got okay. I mean, I loved seeing because we've seen so many horses get
Yes.
eaten on this show, and it was so cool to see. Like you're thinking, oh great, this poor horse. We're gonna have to watch Walker chow down on another horse. Horse gets away,
Yep.
and they chow down on the dude instead. It was so great, and then Lola, just
Yes.
the close up of Lola, just I mean, it was almost kind of comedic, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like you're not even thinking about what happened to Lola, and then everything goes past, and then she just comes out of her little hidey hole, and she's like, "Cool, all right, I'm finally free of those bastards."
Yeah. I don't have to eat human eyeballs. I can go back to eating crickets and the kind of things that are my actual diet.
Yeah, and you know she looks quite happy about it. She's even
She
got a
does.
little smile on her face.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
You're right. It's such a refreshing change not to have the horse being eaten. So
Mhm.
hurry for that.
Yeah.
Um, my number four, and I know that there are also negatives to this. I was not say everything. There's not negatives to every positive, but this one I do. Is the fact that the fight between Daryl and Choffo on the train was funny. I love a funny fight. I
Mhm.
love when they do that. So the fact, and also the fact that they acknowledged that Daryl is an old man. He's an older dude who gets out of breath, who gets tired, who really needs that pause. Um, I don't know. I know Kelly will know who this is, but many people watching might not. There's a UK band called Ultravox who had a
Oh yeah.
big hit with Vienna. One of their biggest hit songs was called "Love's Great Adventure," and the video for that is supposed to be sort of very Indiana Jones or Jewel in the Nile kind of thing, and he's like the swashbuckling hero running through the forest to save a girl. And in the middle of the video, he stops the music because he's out of breath and he just stops and has a rest in the middle of the music video and then goes, all right, carry on. And I love that. I love that kind of fourth wall break. And in a way, but I just liked that this acknowledges, it's funny, but it acknowledges they are real people. So much in these kind of shows, they're superheroes, they're avoiding hand grenades like we were talking about last week. And a
Yeah.
moment like that just gives them humanity. Like, yes, these are real people who get out of breath and just are tired. And as someone with an energy limiting condition, yeah, let's represent the tired people.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's funny because yeah, sorry about the Dexter reference incoming. Jazz and I talked about that constantly every week on when we were covering Dexter, because part of it was that he just got out of a 10-week coma,
Oh yes.
but he also is in his 50s now. When the original series ended, he was, like 40,
Yeah.
or like early 40s, maybe
Mm.
40. And he's in his 50s now. And that was brought up quite frequently, and we were so grateful for that, since it's like we usually see the opposite on this
Yeah.
show. And like when he was trying to chase some guy through the subway, and a guy just bumped into him and he crumbled.
Yeah.
And like and another great one was where, so he was getting ready to he was setting up his kill room to kill Eric Stone Street's character,
Mm.
who's a big guy. And he's like, I don't, and he's like, you see him like kind of, he's icing his shoulder and he's kind of like stretching it out. And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And so he'd been getting acupuncture uh, from Blessing, played by Natari Guma Bahomwine, who we love, honorary antler queen. Hit his So his character Blessing, his daughter, was Dexter's acupuncturist,
Mm.
who we also had on the show, Reese Antoinette. And he was getting acupuncture for her, and he was like kind of rolling his shoulders, like, I gotta get another acupuncture appointment. So he sets up an extra appointment with her, that he can feel confident that he'll be
Think he
able
could
to
take.
get Eric Stone Street onto his table.
That's just so good though, because so many shows just pretend everybody is a superhero, and
Mhm.
it's fine for superhero shows, but I really like to see the humanity that it's like, oh, this isn't easy, dragging
Yes.
a body, for instance. I don't know, Carol dragging a couple of people and killing them and burning them in season 4. Like, I love Carol. I love that she did something, but realistically,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure. By the way, Eric Stone Street never made it onto his table.
Oh,
Just saying.
interesting.
But
Okay.
it came in handy because he ended up putting Steve Sharippa on his table instead. So, so it all
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah.
Steve Sharippa's an even bigger guy. So, um, but
So you're number 4, yeah.
so my number 4 is Carol telling Daryl to stop telling me what I can and can't do. I probably should have put that higher, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no, yeah.
I
I
love it.
yeah. Obviously this scene he's trying to be nice. He's doing it out of compassion for her, but also stop it.
Yes.
I'm a
Yeah,
grown woman. I'll decide for myself what I'm going to do, Daryl. I'm
yeah.
glad. I mean, I'm really surprised they gave Carol that line after this season, but well done to them for doing it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My third is the fight in the town, the deserted town. I liked that they used the people that when they were involved in it. It wasn't just Daryl. I liked that it was something interesting, and they were taking them down one at a time. That I thought that to me holds my attention more than the kind of action scenes we saw last week when Solaz was attacked. That I do just find that blah blah blah, or just two guys hitting each other or whatever and tussling. I don't care. But I find this much more of an interesting way. And you've got the little girl. I know it's very cliched, but I know it's meant to be a trope of spaghetti westerns. You know, the little girl commenting and hiding and watching, and the countdown of the bad guys. Um, so I liked that. I understood the references, so I could appreciate that it was done for a reason and not just lazy story writing kind of thing. It just made it a bit more engaging rather than just let's just have Daryl shooting and fighting. You know, like the jousting bit. I was just like bored at that bit. So blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What's your number
Um,
3?
my number 3 is that I uh, again the cinematography is great in this
Oh yeah,
show.
yeah.
Like I love the locations. I mean,
Hmm.
like the ruins are just
Oh, stunning.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the I don't think I got a screen cap of it, did I? The ceiling that Daryl's looking up at. It's like a cathedral
Oh
ceiling.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I did.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Stunning.
really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. I appreciate it.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's one thing they always nail.
Yes. You can, there we have issues often with the writing, but we never have issues with the production. The production values are just so good. The cinematography, the locations, the set dressing, everything. Even like on the train, that whole setup. It did, of course, it felt like a bordello from a western, but it was beautifully done. The set dressing and the his lady friend and the outfit she had on, the chaise long, everything was just. They really, really put so much effort into the creating the world, and I think that's definitely something we always praise on this. We always want to bring attention to the people behind the scenes for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
My number 2 is Antonio's relationship with Roberto. I just think it's really, really sweet. I like that he's obviously he's a single father and has as he is taking his role very seriously when we go back to the second episode when he's like talking about he not approves but he puts up with the a friend the situation, the human trafficking. But then he said, "Oh, does this because he as long as his son is safe?" And he said, "Does that make me a bad parent?" And Daryl's like, "Oh, no, just the very fact you worry about it makes you a good parent." And I think that even though we see that he's doesn't want Roberto to be with Justina, I do think he loves his son and wants his son to be happy, but perhaps it's that he doesn't want his son to make same mistakes he does. And I think in this episode we really see that, when he's praying for Daryl to find Justina, I think he's realizing how wrong he's been about keeping them apart. And I just think it's nice, and obviously it kind of works as a bad murder that we see Daryl's dad in this episode, and what
Oh
a
yeah.
bad father Daryl had, so it's a nice contrast to that.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I liked it a lot.
Okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is where did I put I just had the screenshot and it I literally just had it on the screen. Okay, I might have to do without it. Oh no, here it is.
Well done. Oh yes,
I loved wait, what was this guy's name again?
Choffle.
Okay, yeah. I'm not even gonna pronounce it right.
CHOFO.
TH oh god,
Choffle.
I'm totally gonna screw it up. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm leopard robe guy.
Yeah.
I will go into more about later about why I loved how he died.
Yes.
But I loved him dying in the bathtub that he was in with his lady friend earlier.
Yes. And can we talk about the color of the water?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's gross. That's gross. But
It was
yeah, I
yeah,
love that he drowned. I love that
yes,
he drowned in that bathtub.
yes. It was poetic justice.
It was.
And he took a long time to drown. Good on the actor, because he must have been, it wasn't like, oh, we cut away to a wide shot, so it's a stunt double. That was him, his face coming in and out of the water. So well done to him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Leopard robe, leopard bathrobe, dude.
No
Yes,
kidding.
yes, that was a good scene. Actually, now you're saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, could have put that on my list, but I didn't. My number one is just the fact Carol and Daryl had a conversation. Hooray!
Oh my god, Dawn, you're depressing me.
Low standards.
That's bad that our standards are that low.
I know it's terrible. Okay,
I'm right
I'll
there with you. I'm right there with you. I mean, that's
yes,
not my number one, but I
yeah.
totally understand it. It's
You know
oh
what
god, our standards are
yeah,
low.
it's so bad. But I like that Daryl is trying to be protective of Carol. I get that. But also I really like that Carol was telling them where to go.
Yeah.
Um, so I think as a conversation, I liked it. I don't like the end result, but I thought it was a good Carol and Daryl interaction. Carol was being Carol and telling him, "No, don't tell me what to do," and also, "I'm telling you what to do because you better go
Yes.
and find Justina." I quite like that. And Daryl's trying to protect Carol and being grumpy, so it felt very in character. Um, which, and I was saying, we have very low standards this season.
Oh
Yes,
man.
it's
Oh.
sad.
All right. So my number one was I just like where did it go here? Okay, so my number one, the skeletons that Daryl comes across. It's hard to see because it's just the top image is really zoomed out,
Yeah,
but they're in the exact same position that Daryl and Carol were on the beach when they
yeah.
washed up.
Shout
And
out to Jen who pointed this out to me because I was like, oh, are they? And I went and checked, and she was right. So,
yeah,
because the shot of the skeletons was in the trailer, so it's been out for a long time.
yeah, that's super heavy, and I just thought it was a really cool detail.
Yeah.
Um, that they like it's just it could have been them.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just, it's just so I love when people think I love when people think to just throw stuff like that
Yeah.
in the
I love
shows,
that. Yeah.
and it's done in a way that's not cheesy.
Yes. 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 Like
This is
hot dogs.
opposite. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Um,
that's done in a really cool way.
yeah, yeah. So that was my number one.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
It's
cool.
if we think, if it has a purpose, what is it? Either to remind Daryl that they could have died, on the beach, but also maybe it's the fact that he's there alone now. He sees a lone man taken down by a vulture, and he's like, it could be him, and he could be. It could have been him and Carol together. Maybe it'd be better if he was, if you're going to die together. And it's like what Carol said to Daryl last week when Daryl was saying about Roberto, what's the point of going after him? And he's like, why are you wanting to go after him now? You didn't care before. And Carol said, well, at least they were together.
Yeah.
So it connects to that as well. So I like this idea. Please, dear God, let this be actually going somewhere. I don't necessarily mean romantic, but just that they're realizing they should stay together, and why does Daryl need to keep going off on solo missions?
Yes. Yes.
It's
Exactly.
essentially, yeah. Hopefully, hopefully the lesson he learns there.
All right, so let's get into our negatives. You
Yeah.
guys want to tune out now? We totally understand because
Yes.
we're gonna have a lot to say here. So, who's your suspenders award winner this week?
Well, it's going to be the man himself, Truffle.
Yes.
He's keeps his animal captive. He keeps a lady captive. Excuse me. He wants anything he wants. He just sends someone to get it, and yeah, he's just an all round bad guy, basically, isn't he? Although I have to say, he was quite entertaining, and I thought, oh, I would like some more of him. He had character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I same thing. I'm
yeah,
gonna go with the same thing. I mean, like we just saw this poor man wandering through the desert
yeah,
without his eyes.
yeah.
Like, I mean, that's freaking terrible. And and then you find out that this guy's feeding him to his lizard.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Why?
Yeah.
It made
What
me
is
it made me think of the governor, with his heads in tanks kind of thing. I
Yeah.
was sort of thinking he's that kind of a guy who's gone really off the deep end in terms of his let's have weird stuff in my house. There's
Yeah.
so much death, let's just collect weird stuff. And in his case it was eyeballs. Yeah.
But yeah, he's my
Yeah.
suspenders award winner as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just obvious. There's
Yeah, there's not really any other. I mean, you could pick dude on the bike, but
yeah.
yeah,
Who is he really?
yeah, exactly.
All
So,
right.
our top five, bottom five, whichever way you want to talk about it. So, okay, my number five is the fight in the town, which I've already praised for being different. However, it made absolutely no sense in that, why would these people just walk into a bit and get shot? Literally, more than once, somebody just walks and Daryl shoots them. Like, are they just really bad at being bad guys? They just wander around and go, oh yeah, I'm chasing this bad guy, but I'll just walk in, shot. Like,
Yeah.
what? Also, the entire fact of the American savior thing. It's this whole season, so I can't really specify it, but obviously he came, Daryl shows up and saves this group of people, and yeah, that's
It's
all
really
together.
annoying.
It is. Um, yeah, it just felt very. It wasn't that it was cliched, because as I say, I understand that it was the fact that it made all the bad guys be really stupid, so they were so easy to beat. But like, couldn't the people have done that? Themselves. They could have used ropes and traps and stuff, because they obviously weren't very bright. So I mean, the bad guys weren't very bright. So they weren't very sharp and paying attention. So I'm pretty sure the leper colony themselves could have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking at my bottom fives,
Mm.
and I screwed up here with it was supposed to be in my tops, and I put it in my bottoms.
Oh no! Okay, quick, come back. We've got a positive.
Yes, I got one more positive thing to say to you.
Yay!
To say for the episode. I mean, it was a bad situation, but no, and it was when Roberto was hanging from the rope.
Mm.
It was a rare moment of effective tension.
Yes. Yes.
Um, like we've seen that situation before
Mhm.
lots of times on the show, but for some reason this time with a and it's harder to do too because we haven't known him for very long. We don't
Yeah.
really know much
Yeah.
about him. But for
Yeah.
some reason it just like it there was a lot more tension in that
Yeah.
scene we used to seeing in scenes like that on the
And
show.
do you know what? One of the reasons I think it worked is because oftentimes when we've had scenes like that, it's unbelievable that the walkers haven't already eaten them, because
Yeah.
they're like oh, they're just suddenly not interested in biting. But he was really in a place where they could only get at him with their hands, so they couldn't bite him. And I thought that, because other times it's distracting, but that made it more realistic because he was out of their clutches. But you knew that even if the rope dropped, then he would be dead, even if he didn't fall to the ground. So yeah,
and you know, it was like, and the thread was getting ready to, it was
yeah,
getting ready to snap, but it
yeah,
still had a believable amount
yes,
left to where
yeah.
he could hang in there for a little bit. I mean, as far as somebody hanging from anything, I don't think anything's ever going to beat the scene
No,
in the Handmaid's Tale series finale. When I don't, are you watching the Handmaid's Tale?
I know I have not seen it. It's one
Um,
of those shows that I haven't seen.
it was a scene where I was off my couch and just screaming and sobbing, and
Oh.
like it was insane. Like, it just, nothing will ever beat that. But but yeah, this actually was a believable moment of tension for me. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I had to. I'm sorry. I'm taking the place of a bottom moment when there's so much negative to talk about. But
It's
I
just a
still have,
general everything's awful kind of.
yeah.
We don't really need a top bottom five.
Yeah. All right.
Um, okay, well, I'll tell you my number four, and I'm going to be honest here. I don't really have any worthy good reasons for it. I just don't like it. Carol inviting Antonio to Ohio. I don't want her to. Don't like it. Don't have to. You can't make me.
That's
She's
perfect. That's perfectly valid.
Thank you. She's just met I just don't like the I don't I mean, of course I don't like the ship because I ship Carol, that's obvious. But I tried to be really fair and say, well, that's believable and that's okay. I understand that. Like with Ezekiel, I understood that relationship completely. I don't think I understand her attraction to Antonio here at all.
I
Not that
don't
he's
either.
not that he's not good looking, but he's this shy guy who's giving nothing. Go girl, give us nothing. I'm not the actor. I hasten to add, he's lovely. But the character is giving Carol nothing. So I'm like, why is she inviting him to Ohio already? And she, she's known him a handful of weeks, and it's Isabel all over again. And I'm tired.
I mean, it's okay. Eduardo Noriega is a great actor.
Yes.
But it's just such a the disconnect between, like, seeing Eduardo Noriega, like, in interviews and everything, and then seeing Antonio on the screen. It's just, it's so wild.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, like, it's not just that, the actor, when he's not playing Antonio, it's not just that, like, he's not got this bad haircut that is pushed in front of his face, and it's not just that, like, he's obviously more confident and everything. It's just that, you understand, I mean, he's playing a character that is
Mm,
nothing like
him. Yeah.
Eduardo Noriega. Um, but it's like the disconnect is so jarring, because 'cause you're like, "I just saw you in this interview, and why you just seem so sad and mopey."
I think
I
that's
mean,
what it is.
obviously,
Eduardo.
you know why he's like that, and it
Yes.
makes sense that he's a great actor, but it's just so funny because
And I
okay, so
think
I have a crush on Edward.
who doesn't?
You.
Oh,
Oh, there
it's
you are. You're back.
I'm
Okay.
back. Sorry. I'm guessing that's the storm
Oh.
interfering. um, yeah, who doesn't have a crush on Eduardo Noriega? He's gorgeous and seems charming and lovely in everything he does. And I think that's why in a way it makes it so hard to be like, what what's Antonio giving? What is it that Carol's drawn to? That he likes movies? Is that it?
Yeah.
I just don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, me either.
Okay, what have you got then for your whatever number, because numbers are
Oh, this is number
meaningless.
4. Okay.
Number four.
Um,
Okay.
I actually remembered. Holy
Well
shit.
done. I was thinking, was it your number 4 that was good? No, okay.
So my number 4 is just, and again, it's good for the story. It makes the story more interesting, but it was so frustrating, like just seeing Roberto and Justina, and they looked so happy, and they're just so close to getting away before Elocasa runs them off the road.
Yeah.
Oh, so frustrating.
It's just, I think this idea of the Ofrenda as a bad guy, obviously it's a thing rather than a person, is, it's hard to get really excited about it because it's so horrible. I know that sounds stupid, but when you had Alpha, that she was this big character, and you could really get into it, and this, it's like I don't want to think about it because of the situation, so it makes it harder, I think, to like, and all I can just think about is, oh, I just want the girls to be free, and so when Justine is taken again, um it was a bit like, oh, Carol, he said again, and Carol figured it all out. It's like, well done, Carol, with her super senses.
Yes. Yeah.
She was like, oh, I wasn't to blame. It wasn't my fault after all. 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
My number 3 is cliches, and I know, as I say, I know a lot of this was done because it was a spaghetti western homage, but the female character who gets no name, and escapes. We don't know her fate. She just vanishes. We don't. I would have liked to have seen her riding the horse across the desert. Yay! Good for her. And and just Daryl being the hero again. I know I said that for my last one, but like, everything just naturally falls into place for Daryl, and it's the thickness of his plot armor, and like, why did the guy come riding at him? Why did they have this jousting match? Because it's like they didn't bother putting much explanation into it because they knew they would have these set ideas of joust, the shot through Daryl's legs, all the sort of cowboy things. But they work if you have a good base for them, and the story wasn't there so much. And of course, it's the fact that there has to be a cute little kid that because Daryl and cute little kids, and yeah, in fact, I could pick lots of little things, like, why did she say Daryl? Like, she's never heard the word Daryl before.
Yeah.
The people in Spain largely speak English.
Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
We're getting into my big gripes now.
Yep.
I appreciate that the show taught me something that I did not previously know.
Oh.
About women's anatomy. And
oh,
that's
yes.
that we can breathe under. Did you know that we can breathe underwater using a man's pee hole?
I did not know that. It's certainly a new piece of anatomy to me.
I'm sorry. It was fucking gross. It was fucking. I'm talking about like a blowjob scene in general. Okay. It was obviously, we didn't see her giving him a blowjob, but it was implied that that's what was happening. It's not that, like, if they were in bed or something, I wouldn't even be talking about it.
No.
It's the fact that they were in a bathtub and she was underwater.
Yeah. Like, how? Just no idea. Trying to picture it. Can't.
This is some I think even I can't even say it seems like a 13-year-old boy wrote this, because I feel like a 13-year-old boy would be smarter.
Yeah.
Maybe an 8-year-old boy who's just starting to feel sexual feelings. Okay, 10. Maybe 10. 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
it was just fucking gross.
Yeah. It just,
Um,
I mean, they didn't even have to, just her being in the bath with the dude told us everything we needed to know about him, and
yeah,
smoking into her mouth. That was sufficient. That told us everything we needed to know about who they are, what their relationship is, and what kind of person he is. It's
yeah,
perfectly clear.
yeah, exactly. So I was glad that Daryl drowned him in the bathtub
Yes, yes,
where his friend was struggling for her life.
yes.
Oh
Well,
God,
maybe she has a hole in the back of her head that she breathes through.
maybe. Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have
maybe.
to this might be, maybe I'm being ableist and this is like some kind of some kind of maybe some people are born with the ability to do that and I'm just
Yeah.
ignorant about it and I'll have to do some research over the weekend and get back to you guys.
Maybe it's part of the virus that she can grow gills. That would be good. Let's put that into the pot for
There you go.
another season. We'll get another season out of that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, okay. So my number two is nothing to do with the actress or the character herself, but Amaya. The fact that they had to give us a attractive young woman, not disfigured by leprosy, to act as a conduit for the audience,
Yep.
and that Daryl could connect to. Why couldn't she have had leprosy herself? But the explanation, he basically says, why do you not have a leprosy? And she's like, oh, well, it's okay to touch them. Right, okay, but why are you there? I had assumed when we saw the trailers for this that she was a nurse or something, and there was an
Right.
explanation for her being there, that she had volunteered to look after these people. No idea. She's just there because we can't have Daryl bonding with a woman with leprosy. She has to be a beautiful young woman. Couldn't have been an old woman. Couldn't have been a young man. You know, oh, it's
Yep.
just this in this season. How women are being portrayed is just another nail in the coffin.
It's gross.
Yeah,
It's really gross. And
yeah,
yeah, that's my number 2 too. And
yeah.
it's also hard to watch as a disabled person living anywhere, but
Hmm.
in America where healthcare is such a mess and disabled people are fearing for our lives, um, it's it's really tough to watch because the entire time I was watching this scene, I was like, God, I feel like I'm looking at my future here, like
Mm,
just as a disabled person, and
yeah.
under like because God only knows if we're ever going to have free elections in this country ever again. I've kind of lost hope in that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just it's scary to watch this as a disabled person living in America. Um, and then and then to bring in this woman who um, she's the one who they use to make the audience feel
Hmm.
sympathy for these people because and there's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful young woman, and it's like, it's really
Yeah.
it's
And
just
they
tough watch.
didn't seem to make a point. That
Yeah,
often when if you introduce a story like that, you can make the point that how awful that these people are excluded and shouldn't they be part of society, and there would be some lesson learned at the end of it. But there wasn't. The lesson was just Daryl helped him. He's a good guy. That was
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's just
Ugh,
disappointing. Yeah.
God.
And number one is less serious than that, but just a general overall issue is Carol should have been there.
Yep,
How much better would all of that have been if Carol was part of it? So much better.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
like
it's
who are they appealing to? Who do they think they need to do this for? That they have to have Daryl off on his own being a superhero, that he can't be doing it with a woman who's his equal by his side. He has to have a moment in the spotlight on his own, being awesome.
And this is the episode that really stung, based on that, because it was, when I was watching it, I was thinking, this episode sounds exactly like how they described the spinoff.
Yes.
They described how the spinoff would
Yep.
be, except it was supposed to be Daryl and Carol.
Yes.
And it just pisses me off so much. And it just made me even happier that the show was canceled, because I'm just,
Yeah.
it infuriated me.
Yeah.
It's God, I'm sorry. I actually enjoyed the first 2 seasons, because
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the characters, and I didn't feel like the women were necessarily treated terribly on the show. This season, I'm sorry, this season is just garbage.
Mm.
It's just okay. I did hate season 2 because Daryl was unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
But I
the
still,
Carol stuff was so good.
yeah, the Carol stuff was great, and I liked the other characters.
Yeah.
But uh, we've got season 2 where we've got them together, and we hate it
Yes.
because he's being a complete fucking jackass.
Yeah.
And then now we've got season 3 where they're not together at all.
Yeah.
This is not the Carol and Daryl spinoff. We still have not gotten a Carol and Daryl spinoff.
No.
It's
As you
ridiculous.
said, it's exactly what it should have been, which was Daryl and Carol coming across a group of people, helping them, then moving on. And that's exactly what this is. And, Norman Reedus in the summer, for a while, he was talking about Daryl's happy ending being Daryl and Carol on the bike. Come on, Carol, let's go. But he's reverted back to talking about Daryl walking off into the sunset and people saying, "Who was that man?" And that's very much what this is. That's exactly what this episode is. But the image of it with Carol in my head, had it been exactly like the Carol and Daryl spin-off, how much more interesting so many scenes would have been, because you would have got Daryl would have had somebody else to interact with. Daryl and Carol in the desert talking about, wow, we're dying, we've got no water, and the kind of either banter or soul searching or whatever. And then this group, and they want to help them, but how are we going to help them? And should we help them? And what's the situation? And as I say, the banter. And then Carol and Daryl each helping the people to rescue themselves, to do it themselves, instead of it all just being Daryl being the superhero. And then on the train, Carol on the train, Daryl on top of the train. I can imagine it all with Carol, and it would have been so much more interesting. And I'm just, we're 5 episodes in now, and I'm like, where is the Carol of last season? Although we obviously had Carol who was damaged in terms of her psyche was damaged, she was traumatized, but and now she's better, she's fixed, and she's happier, but also she's lost her. She doesn't do anything. She's completely sidelined, and she's not, the Carol that, yes, we didn't like her lying to Ash, but we understood why. But the Carol that can manipulate any situation, who pulls a wrench from her sleeve and kills people, is gone. She's just hanging about a house talking to Antonio, and it's just, I miss Carol being Carol, and boo. Yeah, we're just sad.
Same thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I said it or not already, but yeah, that was my number one.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a conversation going on Twitter today that I was part of, and it's talking about, I don't know who they're making this show for at all anymore. I really don't, because there's not enough Daryl solo heroic on his own love interest type stuff. The kind of stuff that was in season 1, which a lot of people did enjoy. That audience enjoyed it. But they left because they killed off Isabel and they didn't like that they had Daryl back with Carol. There's not enough of any kind of greater world connection to the CRM, to Rick, whatever, for a lot of the comic fans and the guys who are into that kind of interconnectedness of all the series. And they're certainly not making it for Daryl and Carol fans because we're miserable. And they keep giving them other love interests. Who's it appealing to? It feels like it appeals to no one, and that's why it's been cancelled. And I don't know what they thought it was appealing to. I just don't know.
I don't know either. I don't
No.
know either. But I do have one question though.
Okay.
So there's 2 episodes left,
Yes.
and there's one more season after this.
Yeah.
So based on the ghostly boot in the poster from last season, which obviously the ghostly boot, which obviously belonged to Beth.
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
When do you predict that Beth is showing up?
I think she'll be showing up in episode 19.
I think that's a safe bet.
19 of 8.
For anybody who doesn't understand what we're talking about, Google Team Delusional. Team Delusional Beth. Okay.
Yeah.
But also, there was a really funny poster that came out last season.
Yeah.
With a big goof in it that had like a ghostly boot in front of
It was obviously her boot, but it was for some reason they'd obviously moved a layer and hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. Very strange.
Yes. Yeah. I'll just say that we're so down on this. This episode is particularly bad, and 6 and 7. We're not going to spoil anything about 6 or 7, but I do intend to be here for season 4. I do still have hope they can pull this back. I do think it's possible they could learn lessons. I think it's important to remember that when season 3 was being filmed, they thought they were going to be going on longer. They didn't think season 4 was the end. Norman Reedus said in an interview that this cancellation came as a surprise. It wasn't what they were expecting. So I think they will have had to pivot in terms of what they're writing for season 4. Now, it doesn't make much difference to season 3 because it makes you think, what, they were going to keep doing this for another 3 seasons? But, whatever they were planning to do in the end has been brought forward. And I'm hoping, hope against hope, bet on hope, says Daryl, that it's bringing it together and making sense of some of it. That was another annoying thing when Daryl said "de payson" because we all loved that from season 2, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's bring that back into season 3. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like I know they have said we don't listen to the fans, we don't write for the fans. Well, it's like they're literally doing the opposite of what people like.
Right?
They've literally gone, oh, you found that annoying. Let's bring it back.
Yeah. God. Like, just maybe extend the flashbacks a little longer or something.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to like. Sorry, I'm grumpy, and I'm not. And I'm not even gonna feel bad about it.
No. No, this just brought out all the worst things about the show. It brought out the misogyny. It brought out Daryl alone. It just, essentially those 2 things.
Yeah, Daryl has been retconned so badly in this show. It's ridiculous, and it's really sad to see.
Yeah, we loved Daryl. Of course we love Carol more, but it's not like we didn't like Daryl as a character. He was a really good character, and they're slowly stripping away everything that made him special, and I don't like that, and I don't think Norman Reedus deserves that, because I know how much he does put into his character, and everything Norman Reedus has said about Daryl in interviews, generally speaking, not when it comes to romance, but Daryl as a character, I have agreed with, and I've thought, oh yeah, that's a good take. But so I don't know who's behind this, whose decision it is to write this way, whether it's being fed by AMC, by Zabel, by Norman and Melissa. I don't know. I'm at a loss.
It's it kind of just to compare this to the show that kind of started this whole platform. It's like, imagine if season 4 of Yellow Jackets comes back and Travis is calling Natalie a slut.
Yes,
Like Travis, who was just one of the worst male characters and had so much growth.
Yeah.
And just goes right back to square one,
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes.
I'm tired and I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah.
I'm just and of course the next season has yet another episode tacked on. Do we really need that? I was like, I would have been happy with 6.
Yeah.
5 would have even been better. If they're gonna keep serving up crap. Make season 4 like 2 episodes and be done with it.
just get rid of all the rest of the characters. Just have Carol and Daryl. Just talk. Just we love Paz. But just talk. Just have them talking for 2 solid episodes and talk about all their issues. They don't have to kiss. They don't have to get together. Just talk everything through. And most carolers certainly would be happy. I think it would be good. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking
about. Dawn, where else can people find you right now?
Speaking of that, yes, I know what I talk about. That's why because I talk about TV all the time. You can find me on thecustardtv.com. I write reviews there. Currently, Slow Horses, which is one of the best shows on television. And I am also on the podcast weekly, where we talk about 4 new shows. This week we will be talking about Wayward, which give me Yellow Jackets vibes.
I need to watch that.
Yes, I was going to say, have you watched it? Because it's very Yellow Jacketsy.
Somebody I follow on Twitter posted about it. Who mainly posts almost entirely about Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Posted that if you're a Yellow Jackets fan, you really should be watching Wayward. Yeah. And I was like, huh. And I looked it up. I'm like, ooh, hey, okay. Now this sounds like I need to get it.
Yeah, you definitely need to. Yeah. It's created by Mae Martin, the Canadian comedian and actor. And they have done something very different. I think, you know what I mean? There's a lot of shows that are all the same, and this stands out very much. And also, you can hear me on Made for TV, where we talk about issues related to being women in television, on television representation for other underrepresented groups. And you can find me on the Twitters at Dawn Glen too if you want to just disagree with everything I've just said. I don't mind. I'll argue with you.
And you can also find us on our social media at Cyborg Queen Media, everywhere except X, where we are Cyborg Queen TV. I am primarily sticking to Blue Sky. I was going to try to avoid social media entirely, but Blue Sky is kind of okay. I don't know. I still kind of have a deathly fear that I'm going to run into a bunch of people that I don't want to run into there. But yeah, send us a message. If you want to say hi, you could be talking to a number of different people. So just be aware of that. Also, please, if you're around on Sunday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern, join us for our Fan Pack Lives. We are basically going live now every single Sunday for good. That's the plan. I mean, we'll have the occasional Sunday off, but Welcome to Derry starts October 26th. So we will be doing our Welcome to Derry Sunday night after shows when that starts. But until then, starting this Sunday, we will be doing in between seasons of current shows that we're covering. We will be talking about fandom issues with our Fan Pack Lives, fan activism. We're not going to be, we may get a little angry regarding certain issues from time to time. But for the most part, we're going to try to approach everything with patience and compassion and try to, encourage people to just look at things from multiple perspectives while being honest about certain issues that would exist within fandoms. And also just kind of give people a place to go to where they can find opportunities to do good in the name of fandom. So join us every Sunday, 11 p.m. Eastern, and I'm really looking forward to that. This is why I started this entire platform, so I'm really excited. We are using the hashtag fan responsibly. So if you want to, if you want to talk about anything that you think would be a good topic for fandom, feel free to tag fan responsibly in your tweets, and we will show them. If appropriate, we'll show them on the lives. You can come on and share the mic with us. You can join the live chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we have the Antler Queens podcast, which Dawn is also a part of. We covered Yellow Jackets and Dexter there. Dawn is part of the Yellow Jacket side of things.
Yeah.
So we are obviously done with our Dexter, our current Dexter coverage for the year, but we may squeeze in some more retroactive stuff. And make sure to scan the QR code in the corner of your screen right now if you want to donate to Endometriosis Foundation of America through Tiltify. We're doing this in honor of Taylor Page's birthday. So yeah, that's all the stuff we've got going on right now. And please leave a comment. I know it sucks that we can't really respond to comments very easily right now. But we read them all. And leave us a comment, and if we get enough comments, we need 10 comments, and at least half of those have to be from different people. So leave us a comment, and if we get enough comments, we will do a giveaway for a virtual prize. I really want to do a giveaway, man. I've been trying so hard. Anyway, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. I had to pause to have a little coughing fit there. Anyway, we are out for this week. We'll see you guys next week. And please let us know what you think of this week's episode, because I'm really curious. All right. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.